We're in this moment right now. And what are we talking about? We're talking about finding God. Now, when we talk about God, when God is, brought up in society, it always points to, or oftentimes, it's pointed to religion, right? It's pointed to maybe spirituality, right? And the deal with that, with finding God, it's the tantamount of you finding happiness within yourself, right? It's like me trying to convince you to be happy, right? And I can say a million different things. I could create a bunch of different ideas. I can give you a plethora of different points to find your own happiness inside. But it's only up to you to find the happiness, right? I can't convince you to be happy. It's something you have to find within yourself. Just like it's the same deal with finding God, and finding the power of which that is greater than yourself, right? So that's the deal with that. Now, when God is brought up in society, a lot of the time, it's brought up under maybe some sort of religious context, or maybe people try and make it sound religious, right? And, there's many different ways someone can find God, right? Or they can find their light inside, or their source, right? Whether that's picking up a Bible, or, going to church, or attending church services, or having a near-death experience, maybe if they got into a car accident or something, or maybe even a psychedelic experience. I'm not a proponent of psychedelics, but any reason can be found to be convinced that there's something out there that is greater than yourself, that is higher than yourself, right? So, how does one find God? How does one find their light inside, right? So, there's no standard, right? There's no absolute standard on how you're supposed to find these things. It's something you have to just live out. You basically have to experience yourself, and you have to be able to find yourself by living life, by attending life, by experiencing life on a day-to-day basis. Right? Nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can try and sell you anything. Nobody can try and woo you into believing something that you're not going to be able to physically see with these two eyes, right? You can't physically prove, right? Because this force is on a higher level than just the physical plane. Such as this body that I have right now, such as even all of these plants and weeds on the floor or on the ground. This force it exists on a higher plane. It takes place on a higher plane. It takes a higher form, and it's something you cannot simply prove with the mind. Right? It's something you can't comprehend, you can't fully understand, really using your mind, right? That's why we've created all of these concepts, these conceptual, mental, or mind concepts surrounding God, involving God, you know? And essentially, it's something you can't really use. You can't use your mind to try and grasp what God is, because you'll never really find it. It's something that has to take shift within you. It's something you have to find within yourself, essentially, right? As I said, like, I can say a million different things. I could create all these points. I can create all of these sort of so-called philosophies to try and convince you that there's a God, try to convince you that God exists, right? But it's something you have to find within yourself. You have to, like, that shift of realization, of understanding a power of force that is greater than yourself has to take place within yourself, has to click within yourself, right? And once that shift clicks within yourself, you look back on all of these religions, you look back on these books, the Bible, or these philosophies, and it all makes sense to you now. It all makes sense, and it agrees with your view on what God really is. Now that you have found God yourself, right? Whatever and however way you see God now, you have found within yourself, is what you see in all of these religions and all of these, philosophies and ideas and books about God that point to a greater, higher power that is outside of yourself, that, a force that is greater than yourself, that is outside of yourself. And that's essentially what happens, right? That's the deal with God. Okay? Now, there's no standard, right? There's no standard on really anything in this life when it comes to, trying to get to a certain level spiritually, which I don't believe in that anyway, or if that's the level you're on, where you have to get to a certain level of spirituality to feel some sort of thing, or to, get rid of that desire to try to get higher, or anything. There's no standard for anything. Finding God, there's no standard for that. Because this is an individualized, subjective experience, right? And oftentimes it is used, it's used by the mind. The mind is perceiving it. And because the mind has perceived it, the mind created, it helped, it supported the creation of making these religions in the first place that are here in society, making these books, making these philosophies, right, about God, about what God is, about even just practices and things you can do to reach God and get closer to God, that source, right? There's no standard. What works for me, like I said, not like I've said, but I've said something similar to this. What works for me may or may not work for you, as far as finding God, as far as finding your light inside, and as far as even just being happy, or like finding peace inside. There's no golden standard, right? And the problem in society today is that people try and create the golden standard for other people to live by and to follow, right? Like, you need to do this to get to this level. You need to do this to do that. You need to go here. You don't need to do anything that these people are saying. You do what you need to do, what you feel you have to do inside, whatever natural, organic inclination to go and seek that thing out, to go and do that specific thing, you go out and do for yourself. And if it's in alignment with what people are trying to sell you or tell you, then so be it. You're not wrong for doing that, right? But that's one of the issues that we face in society. You know, and a lot of it has to do with people trying to just build some sort of following, or they're trying to get subscribers or followers, or they're just trying to get famous, right? Or trying to build something for themselves, to uphold, you know, with for their ego and their, you know, their image. So, which there's nothing really wrong about. If that's what they have to do, if that's their desire to go do it, then go do it. But, you know, what works for me might not work for you. And I apologize if it's windy today, guys. The weather has been not the best in Arizona right now. It hardly even rains out here. It rains like once a year, it feels like. But yes, there is no standard. There is no formula, there's no magic formula to follow in regards to finding your light, finding your source, or finding God, right? People are gonna say, you know, the people who, everybody has their own worldview on it, right? Because there's multiple worldviews that are on this planet. There's not just one worldview. There's multiple different minds that exist on this planet right now, that are taking place on this planet right now, right? That's why we have so many different religions to follow or to adhere to. That's why we have so many different philosophies, so many different philosophers. And that's why the world is the way that it is, because there's multiple different minds that are running around, that are running loose on this planet right now, right? And that's why we have religions, we have books, we have philosophies, we have spirituality, spiritual concepts, ideas, and so forth. So, ultimately, beyond all of these man-made concepts, using the mind of the human body, right? Which there's nothing really wrong with, because all of these things are here for a reason. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here in the first place, right? They're there to lead people down a certain path, because everybody has their own individualized path for themselves, right? So, ultimately, above all else, God is simply a force, right? The wind is starting to pick up. God is a force. God is a force that directs the nature of this planet right now. God is a force that created a being to dress up in something that it isn't, to pretend that it's something that it isn't, to wear clothes, to walk outside into nature, recording videos, talking about itself, right? God takes multiple different forms. God is the good, God is the evil, God is the devil, right? God is essentially what's running this whole TV show, right? This whole TV show right here. So, and at the same time, there's no right or wrong answer on what God is. Because God is everywhere. So, and he's running this whole like TV show, this whole life. So that was everything that I had to say. What did I miss about I think I got everything down on video format that I had to express, and I had to explain to this camera. As far as how the topic of how one finds God. How does one find God? Right? What is God? That's basically it. So thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next video. I'm just trying to think if I missed any points. Because I might end the video and publish the video and then come up with some other points to make, or ideas, or yeah, points that I missed. But if you guys want to do that for me and write comments down, then that is entirely up to you guys, even though I don't get any comments anyway, really, or views. So right now, have a good day. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next video.